Hey gamers, we are in for a treat today. We have a bit of a trophy review, a bit of a trophy, well, roast perhaps as well, of the ScottishNub's profile. We said when he got to 500 plats, we'd take a look at his last 100, and he has smashed it out of the park in 5 months, which, well, that begs the question, what the fuck have you been doing every day if it took you 5 months to earn 100 platinums? But you know, look, it is what it is. Perhaps he's got some quality here. Perhaps he's got some Elder Scrolls. Perhaps he's got a Final Fantasy 14, a Witcher, you know, maybe even some Red Dead, you know. He's obviously got the quality because with 5 months, you're not playing the spam, surely, for 100 plats. Well, let's find out what's going on. ScottishNub, obviously hailing from the great country of the United Kingdom. I forgot there, so the Queen still has her hand firmly around your jewels up there. It's wonderful, isn't it? You know, you can feel her squeezing, can't you? She's a fickle mistress, you know, a teaser. But look, I understand, you know, it's a similar position here. Isn't it wonderful? The United Kingdom. You're so united, I read as well. Wonderful, wonderful. Level 89, he's at 63%. He'll be level 90 probably in 5 minutes there. What's that, a ratter and a half? 2 ratters and you're done. Well done, sir. I wonder if you'll get to level 100. You're so close. You know, maybe by the weekend end, you can push it out there and become a valid profile, because at under a level 100, nobody is taking you seriously. Of course, over 100, no one's taking you seriously either. It's the wonderful nature of trophy hunters. But you know, I'm not telling you anything you didn't already know. He has 20,215 trophies. It's a small number, but it's a number. And, you know, when we reflect that he does come from the great country of Scotland, that is probably considered a massive number. I mean, who knows how many trophies they even have there. He has 500 plats, 3,997 gold. He can't be fucked putting in the extra effort for 3 more to round this number up. See, what you got to ask yourself here, Scottish, is if you have a serious accident this afternoon and you lose all your ability to play the PlayStation, well, all your ability except for the Telltale games, which will play themselves, are you going to be able to get to that 4,000 number? Listeners, never leave it at so close to a milestone. Always complete. Never pull out early. 5,256 silver and 10,462 bronze. This is an encouraging number in this day and age where the bronze is still more than the gold trophies. He's not a complete ratter spammer. He still has some substance in him. As we said, 500 platinum trophies. It is a massive milestone. If you don't have 500 plats, you can't possibly understand the feeling you have with 500 plats. It changes the way you see the world. You wake up in the morning knowing you are a 500 platinum holder. You go to bed at night knowing you are part of the 500 club. The euphoric rush of that 499th to 500th plat is indescribable. All I can say to you, Mr. Noob, is wait until you hit the 1,000. Your game selection should see you there in the next week or two, and you will you'll see something different. It won't be like knocking the top off, I can tell you. You'll lift the whole roof off. The gush and surge of energy is orgasmic. So he has 972 games played, of which he's completed 570. We've got to respect that. He's obviously only completed the good ones, as we're going to find out. He has a 67.97% completion rate. It's unfortunate that it is so high, but again, that can be worked on to be driven down. What I do like about these two numbers is that they're not the same. Quite often you'll see these miserable bastards that have games played and completed games the same. They like to label themselves completionists, but really, they're just miserable fuckers. I mean, what is exciting about life where you've finished everything? There's nothing you haven't seen. There is no experience you have not yet lived. These two numbers should never be the same. And if they are, you need to take a long, hard look at yourself, because the fun died a long time ago. What else can we say here? 12,408 unearned trophies. Well, that's not bad. It's not 20,000. And while this number is still below this number, it is a valid profile. Of course, it moves beyond valid to excellent, extraordinary, when this number reaches above the total trophy number. It's a challenge, sir. I wonder who is going to get there first. He's earning 10.94 trophies a day, which tells us that every morning he wakes up with a huge anchor around his neck as he plans out the day to ever increasingly earn more trophies as this number continues up. It's a masterpiece by Sly to put this number here. This is the true addiction number. Forget about leaderboard rankings. Oh my god, I need to earn 10.94 trophies today. He has 3,759 views on his profile, of which 3,748 are all the ScottishNub. The other 11 are misclicks. 797. He's down 7 from last week, which is less than a Ratterplat. Nothing of concern. And he's ranked 80th in his country, a very uncompetitive. Uncompetitive? Country. What a surprise. 80th. It's amazing you're in 80th with 500 plats. I should change my account to Scott, the UK, of course, yes. Look, we're basically in the Commonwealth together. I'll ring the Queen and see if we can do that. So he's a premium member. Again, he's just cashed up. It also means his profile is going to be here forever. Something to look forward to for all of us, I'm sure. You can see this lovely feature here. I've talked about this before. It is the highlight of the site. This is why you come here, to just move your cursor around. What is even more wonderful is that we're currently seeing pictures from the Theme Park World Simulator game. I'm guessing that I'm actually having more fun now chasing my cursor across the screen than he did playing this game. Well, I mean, a game is a strong word, really, isn't it? A hash-up of experiences that, defy expectation and leave you wanting. Anyway, let's jump in. We're only going to look at the last 100 plats or so. But I do want to come down here first, because I've known this dude for a little while. I want to know how he started. Well, look at this. Doesn't update for another 4 hours and 33 minutes. See, you'd think this is automated, but really there's probably some dude on this site. He's not paid, because nobody's paid on this site. Not even Sly at $7 a year. But there's some dude that must come around to all these profiles and update them every 6 hours. The 6 hours, man. That'd be a fascinating job, wouldn't it? Maybe that's what happens, like, after you've earned like 2,000 platinums, because you just hate life so much. You're like, I'm going to give up hunting and I'm just going to update profiles for people because they'll love me, and it's a valid excuse of time. But anyway, it's got nothing to do with Scottish there, but this may be the most interesting thing on his profile, so that is why I dwell on it. But his first trophy, taking inventory in Minecraft. That's wonderful. You've got to respect a man confident enough to put a child's game on as his first trophy, but well, look, it's not even a child's game. I mean, this is like a 5-year-old's game, isn't it? You better put a few blocks down, swing your hammer, crack the shits, melt the lava. I don't know. I don't play this game. It's for children, so I can't really comment. In fact, this is the game you play before you play Fortnite, isn't it? I mean, technically, it's the game you play after you play Fortnite too, when you can no longer play Fortnite, obviously. So that's wonderful, sir. Sort of ages you in two categories. I love it. His first legitimate platinum, and it's totally legitimate, is The Walking Dead. It's wonderful to see a trophy hunter start with a no-effort platinum, because it just inspires you with confidence about where they're heading. You can see it took him a while to get his 10th platinum here. Look, it's hard to say. Sly doesn't have specific numbers here, but it took a while. I'm going to guess that's probably because there just weren't enough Telltale games at this point. It was really a mistake for them. At this point, they weren't shipping out 15 games a year, which obviously turned out so well for them in the ensuing years. But look, in hindsight, it's a wonderful thing. Who would have thought holding 17 licenses and trying to produce 48 games, in a calendar year might be a stretch? At least they got out before the COVID cleaned them out. Now, where are we? Oh, the fuck you trophy for this site. Look, you gotta love it as soon as here. But soon he mended. I mean, he's put a nothing trophy in, which is all you can do for this, fuck you all sort of trophy. Look, okay, I think that's enough, because as you can see, this profile goes on forever. Look at this, ever. And we really want to get into the games, the substance, but we will check out the mistaken number. It's 61, which is, 61 too many in my view, but it's under 100, therefore making this an acceptable dalliance in this section. Of course, these numbers are ridiculous: 0.67, 1.56, 1.78. It clearly defines that this game is just so much fun. DC Universe Online. Wow. Well, there you go. I mean, there's nothing you can say about this. They all come from the same game. Probably every other trophy in this game is a plus plus 90% trophy. Maybe these 3 are the only 4 only ones that matter. The Joker. Yes, the joke is definitely on you, sir. And I love this club. FIFA 13. Well, you're not going to get past someone from the UK without a soccer game, so I'm glad that he put that in there as well. It's encouraging to see that 14,000 of his trophies are common. I mean, they're all common, aren't they? Well, except for these ones. So what's he been playing? Like a true trophy hunter, he's decided to put the quality up the top as his 500th plat. He is affected by the milestone curse. He's gone with Grand Theft Auto 5. He hasn't bothered with the DLC because fuck, he just needed the name of the platinum here to legitimize his account, and that's what he's done. Took him 5 years and 2 weeks. It's basically the whole time, by the look, that he's been playing on the PlayStation. So he's had this game, as we said, around his neck. This combined with the 10.94 trophies per day basically has probably put him in a hole. I mean, 5 years ago, 5 years and 2 weeks ago, he was probably a fit, healthy, well-adjusted individual. He might have been a merchant banker, probably owned a luxury yacht or something like that. Now, 5 years, 2 weeks later, with the weight of the 10.94 a day and trying to get this plat on here for 500, he's probably a shriveled up mess living in the corner, in Scotland as well. I mean, fucking hell, in Scotland. That's tough, isn't it? Dark, raining. I don't know. It's just we've got to keep going, but it almost feel like we should have a minute's silence for him. It's possible the noose is already around his neck now. Look at this, 0.14%. I mean, it's just like nobody even fucking bothers. And what's alarming is most people hack this game as well. And I'm not saying he's hacked this game, because although he does have no hidden trophies, so maybe he has. Who knows? Who knows what's going on? But at 0.14%, even the hackers can't be fucked doing this game. And it's a quality game when the hackers can't be bothered to do it, can't you? Jesus. 1.9, that's just... Anyway, it's alarming. Look, I'm sure that's the last piece of quality we're going to see on this list. So we start off here in reverse order at 499 with 112 seed EU stack. It's taken him 6 hours and 32 minutes, which, begs the question of, what the hell is going on? So at a 97.43%, it's well in all of our territories, though. A hero and a garden, the NA stack. Of course, if you don't know this game, it is wonderful for a turbo controller, but coming in at 16 hours and 1 minute, he obviously did not use a turbo controller. He obviously has a very slow, weak wrist action here. All this game requires is tapping the buttons. So, look, I understand, these things get difficult as you get older, but 16 hours and 1 minute. I mean, he could pretend that he's been reading it. I've heard these things that some of these gamers are embarrassed now to admit that they're just skipping VNs. Can you imagine? I mean, it used to be in the day that, people would be embarrassed about playing Japanese games and skipping them. Not because they were skipping them, because they can't read the language, they can't even navigate the store. They're just buying everything there in the hope that something's a VN. But now, they're getting embarrassed by even these English VN skipping. So they let the system run. They save a trophy or two, so it looks like they read it. Now, I'm not saying he did that here. He's Scottish. He possibly just got pissed and passed out under the couch. Woke up, 15 hours and 49 minutes later and went, fuck, I'm not going to get to my 10.49 today. I better finish this off. Prehistoric dude, this is a wonderful Metroidvania. Look, I don't know if it is or not, but I just felt like saying that word. He's done the NA, the AS, and the EU. That's probably because there isn't a Japanese stack yet, or he just can't find it on the store, which is it's not surprising. It's wonderful to see the variation in percentages too. It's not surprising that the EU is the lowest because, of course, EU includes the United Kingdom, and we already know that they don't have very many trophies. They're a subset of the trophy hunting community. They're the special friend you have that, you just clap and give a participation award. But it is alarming that at that 90.4% is so much lower than the rest of the world, especially when you factor in the fact of America here. I mean, look at the fuck that's going on in America, and they're still managing to, outrank us by 3.21%. It's alarming. Unsurprising that the gaming gods that are the Asians at 96%. Not surprising that's not 100%. That's probably because some of the EU people are playing that and can't finish it. Anyway, look, here's another stack of hero and a garden. Obviously didn't want to do it too close together considering how long it took him the first time. In fact, it's alarming that he's getting slower. Although, we do get slower as we progress, I suppose. Minecraft, 92 of 127. Congratulations, I'm sure this was a carry. It's another example of a 0.22%. Even the hackers can't be bothered. The ironic thing about this game game, of course, is that it's basically everybody is a hacker that plays this game because you just leech off somebody else, which is really what trophy hunting has become, the art of leeching. You know, could you imagine? They should change this site from PSN profiles to PSN leeches because, well, I mean, it works on so many levels, but oh my goodness. But that is really what trophy hunting has become, hasn't it? You know, we'll just leech the trophies, hold the game, and you know, it's wonderful to see. But you know, the leeching in this game, of course, is just knowing somebody who's put in, you know, 1 million hours to build an amazing world, of which you're gonna, you know, partake in for like a couple of hours. You're gonna bitch about the experience because you don't know what's going on and you don't care. You just want the trophies, and then, you know, you'll be patting kittens and it won't go off or something, or there won't be enough bees, or, you know, it'll just be some bullshit like this because it's a Microsoft-owned thing, and Microsoft are just trolling you because you're playing it on the PlayStation. In fact, I love games like this because, you know, they released a new version too, so they're totally cashing in on it. And it's wonderful to see PlayStation players giving the motherland, the Xbox, Microsoft, more money because, you know, it's going to be an avalanche soon in the next generation. Why not start now? Alpha Bassetti. Well, that must be the Italian stack of Alphacet, I suppose. Alphacet by Paugi, the EU version. So yeah, 5 hours and 31 minutes. There's a possibility he did this legit. Perhaps not. He just wants it to look like it. I don't know. It's actually kind of fun though, so I'm going to give you a pass on that. Although, you know, obviously so did the other 8.4% of people by the look who didn't bother to finish it. Dagger, you know what I love about this? Let's have a look. Like, there's probably a trophy for just turning this freaking game on. Yeah, there is. Solve the first puzzle. It basically solves itself, yet, like, what do we got here? Like 1.96% of people can't even be bothered to do that. You got to respect this. I know you people out there are like, oh, fuck these people that just play every game on the store and never play them. I hate them, you know, full of jealousy, all this drivel. You know, I'm going to stab them with my PS3 controller because it's not got anything else to do with it. But you got to respect these people that can't even be bothered. Like, they've loaded up the game, but they just can't even be bothered to get the first trophy. I respect that. I think that's an achievement. You know, it's probably just an Xbox player trolling the PlayStation community to screw with the percentages. I hope so. Well, look, if it's not, I'm going to do that this afternoon. Daggerhood JP. Now, 1 week, 1 day. Now, we've got to give it to him here because this game was glitched, which is pretty impressive because each Asia stop have shitted out games now, like at 3 games a week for the last 3 years. The fact that they couldn't figure out a trophy list by now is somewhat alarming, I would think. But then you got to give them a pass too because it's on the Japanese store and nobody can read Japanese that's playing on there except a handful of Japanese players. So, you know, you can't expect them to figure out how to actually get their trophy list to work. I mean, the game is literally like 10 minutes to platinum. They probably couldn't have even been bothered to test it. We're like, fuck it. This is the 8th version of this game. Anyone that's buying it now, who cares? But, you know, you got to wonder what these companies think when they see this. Wouldn't it be wonderful if, I know that PlayStation 4 can do some hot mapping of gameplay and stuff, you know, not that Sony would know what to do with those numbers, clearly, marketing department, release date, price, but, you know, if somebody there had a clue, it'd be fascinating to know how many percentage of people buy all these stacks and how quickly the game is deleted once the platinum goes. In fact, that could be Sony's next competition. Who can delete the game, you know, as the platinum pops? Who can get the closest time? You know, in fact, to be honest with you, I read about these people that are like, you know, as soon as I get the plat, I delete the game. And I reckon I challenge you, like, don't even sync your list. Don't even wait for it to pop. Just delete it, you know, mid-pop. Could you imagine that? Just deleting yourself mid-pop, pulling out and going freeballing it? It'd be amazing. I'll tell you what, that'd be the real thrill, wouldn't it? To put 10 minutes of work in and then be like, shit, I don't know if I'm going to get the plat or not. Let's just hold it because it's like a whole 10 minutes I'd have to invest again. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Full Blast. You know, we heard about this game recently from Reddy. He didn't like it, but it's not surprising. You know, it's in English, although ironically this is the Japanese version. Took a few years to come out. They were, again, negotiating how the hell the Japanese store probably works. Probably also shocked that anyone would buy it 8 times, but you know, that's what happens. 17 minutes 59, it's a more respectable time. Look at this, 99.09%. That is amazing. That's That's unbelievable. For a game that doesn't play itself, that's unbelievable. And look, that's 100% of people have completed the first area, which is, that's the real percentage, but we don't count those people because they're the people that don't understand the trophy addiction. But 100% of people on this side that have set up a regional account, that have found a way to cheese and break the Sony terms and conditions, that have then gone onto a third-party site, exchanged their hard-earned for yen at a really dodgy exchange rate with probably like a 20% VIG. Hey, East Asia. Oh, no. Hey, Play Asia, I should say. How are you? Yeah, I got my referral code in the mail. So, and they're taking this massive hit, but at least they're getting some value here, aren't they? And they're killing, I think you kill the boss and get that one. It's a 2-for-1. There should be more games. I mean, it's got 14 trophies. There should definitely be more 2-for-1 trophies. I mean, just make all 14 pop at once. Who cares? So let's move on. This is serious business. Robo Zaro. This was a fun game about a robot that I couldn't understand at all, but it didn't stop me from playing it 8 times or however many were available at the time. So he's done it in 2 hours 34 minutes. Again, it looks like he's probably enjoyed it, but it's hard to say. It's really hard to say. Clash Force. We got to give this guy a bit of props because I know the Asian version is the hardest version of this game. You wouldn't know it at 98.32%, but you could almost call this skilled spam because they remove the checkpoints in this version. It's a little bit of a joke these spam companies are having, like with the Asian stacks. Also the same in Castle Pals, I think it was. It might have been something else. I think it's Clash Force, where they removed the checkpoints or the bits dropping down. The coins didn't give you any points. You had to have a flawless run to beat the boss to get the 2,000 score on the trophy. And they're just having a little laugh, because the people that play these games have about as much skill. Well, their skill extends to turning on the PlayStation, and then suddenly they have to do something, and maybe they just do it to hear the whinging, because you can bet, any effort involved is gonna, require substantial amount of whinging. In fact, it's amazing how much whinging goes on this site. Maybe that's where all the energy is. Like, I don't have any energy for my ultra rare platinum anymore because I'm too busy whinging about my 98.32% platinum with no checkpoints. It's mystifying. Of Tanks and Demons 3, it's a debug game. It took you quite a while, but really, it requires no effort. So I can salute that, and I'm impressed. Rogue Cube. Now, you can tell straight away that this isn't worth playing for a spam game because it's a sub 80% plat here, but it does require skill and therefore it doesn't interest me. It also seems to be long, so I don't want to touch that. Back here to the skipping at 19 minutes, 19 seconds. It's amazing that you could read this game and pick all the options in that time, so that is wonderful to see. And of course, Ratalaika trolling us here with a game that is now worth about 3 times what they used to charge for games. Someone's told them that they can get away with this. The Addicted will pay whatever it takes for a trophy these days. Although it could also be, my other theory is that they're losing so much money with these digital account sharing sites and people sharing games, Sony terms and conditions, that they're just like, fuck it, from now on, if you're only going to buy 1 copy to give you 5 mates, because these people only have 5 friends, clearly, your 5 mates, then we're just going to charge you 5 times the price of the game. And, because Trophy Hunters, maths is not the most cleverest thing, as Sly knows. Look at these percentages he gets away with. They fall for it, and they're like, well, shit, this game's expensive. But, really, it's the same as if they'd all just bought it themselves at the original price. So, well played, Ratalaika, well played. Memory Lane by Playstick Interactive. It's my favorite studio, and it's just wonderful to see them here with a game, inspired of something ripped straight off the Steam store. They can't animate the cursor in this game, which is a wonderful thing to have. And look, it's not their worst game, it's not their best game. That's still to come, I'm sure. I can't wait for that experience. But it's one of their quickest games, and that's all that matters. They learned from Nerve as well that why not put a platinum on? You can charge a few more dollars. It's a game of quality and substance, and coming in at 99.69%, most of the community agrees with me, clearly. Epic Word Search Collection 2. This is too long, and therefore we just go straight past it. Knighting Plus. This is a little bit frustrating, isn't it? I don't know if it frustrated you. I know it had cheats and stuff in it, but for the 16 trophies, it's just a little bit too much effort, I think, to do the 20 times that you could possibly stack it if you so wished. A summer with a Shibu Inu. Who knows who Shibu or Inu is? It could be a dog, it could be a cat. Nobody's read this thing, nobody knows. Although it is a wonderful picture, if a little bit freaky. coming in at 99.33%. I mean, you just can't take this shit seriously anymore, can you? I mean, you really can't. Like, just turn on your console and give me the plat. It doesn't even... Look, I'm a trophy whore through and through, but even I'm finding this fantastic. This is real. Look at this. It's just... I mean, there's a 72 here, but this game's bullshit and it's a waste of time. But everything else is valid here above the 90s, and it's just wonderful to see that there are so many completionists in these sort of games. I love it. I love it. Concept Destruction, this is a great game, and it's great to see you're supporting the developer across all regions, including the Asian region. It's a, what is it, a cardboard racer, which, you know, there hasn't been any cardboard races that I've played before. So this guy is onto a unique thing. It's a really fun game. It's probably the best game he's played in this 100. So we'll see. Delta Squad, it's a bit of a skill game, pretending a spam game. You get half the list for doing nothing at all. The other half of the list you survive by glitching the boss. You know, it's valid. It's a valid plat. And therefore, we don't need to address it anymore. Pity Pit, this game is great. You just push down and they give you a plat. Why not? Good to see you're supporting the Japanese version. 98.69. It's wonderful. Null Drifter, this game is actually quite good, and the Japanese stack dropping recently. You can tell you're getting a little desperate because there's a lot of Japanese stacks on your profile, sir. You know, you could play a real game if you wanted to. I hear that there are a few on the store. I've never experienced them, but apparently there are. They have plats as well, you know. Who would have thought? You know, they're too long for me, so I didn't realize. But you could do that if you wanted to. But if not, you know, there are other stores, like the Indian store, you might want to check out as well. I believe there's a Middle Eastern store with the Desert Racing. That's a garbage game of you know, an hour or two. Maybe jump onto that. It'll probably just cost you a leg or an arm. In the vegan Play Asia. Welcome, Play Asia. Null Drifter. Yeah, we've already done this. There's another Knighting Plus. No. Pick a Pix Classic 2. So people convince me they like these games. Well, I think they're full of shit. I don't think anyone really likes them. I think the problem is that their profiles are just so full of this garbage that they're just like, yeah, it's a good game, because there's a good chance nobody's going to play it because it takes so long. They'll never be able to call them out on their bullshit. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Look at this Redbow 1, 2, 3, 4 times. It's good to see it took you 4 times to pick up the gist of the game. I hope it was worth it. Actually, it wasn't a bad one, I think, but it's weird that the last version took the longest. But I mean, the fact that you're giving the Vita some love is wonderful. 3 days, 4 hours. We're starting to see why it took you 5 months to get 100 plats. I mean, you could knock this over in 15 minutes if you wanted to. Knighting Plus, yeah. Even you had to spread this game out, and that's how painful it is. Delta Squad. Tetris Escape. This was a fun one, wasn't it? You know, this is the one where you started. I reckon this is the game, as a spam hardy, you started and you're like, yeah, I'm doing this one legit. Fuck off, guide. You know, I'm not getting my hand held today. Take off those training wheels. I'm a real gamer. I'm doing this one legit. And then by level 4, you're like, nah, fuck this. Guide, please. Thanks, Chido. And off you were. And I respect that, though, you know, because you can't play every game. Well, not properly. Unless you're a hacker. And then I suppose you can, team. Strawberry Vinegar. So this is another one that was a bit overpriced, I think, following the Rada method of charge for 5, give to your friends. Why not? And, you know, 17 minutes, 2 seconds, so you really experience that in full force. Clash Force, the easy version. Minecraft Dungeons. 25. So is there some DLC for this now, is there? Oh, there is. Look at this. I wonder. I really hope that Microsoft are charging for this. That'd be fantastic. Wouldn't this be awesome if this becomes like the new Minecraft, where we just got like DLC dropping like every other week, you know, for the next 5 years? That would be wonderful. And then they don't put every second pack. They just keep that for the Xbox, but they release it on the PlayStation as a percentage just to fuck with your trophies. But they never actually release it, so you can't play it. It's like hidden content. That'd be wonderful. Oh, wonderful. Something to look forward to. Look, it's more of the same games, which, you know, is wonderful. Invert. So this is a bit of a skilled game, although you can just stand in the left-hand side of the screen and beat all the bosses. Coming in at 88.80%. You know, it's symmetry, if nothing else, I suppose. Gun Crazy. Oh, shit. I haven't seen a profile like this since the last time I logged in and checked mine out. It's just wall to wall. Look at this. There's nothing. Oh, there's a 70 here. Oh, this thing. Anyway, you know, Gun Crazy. I think it was fun. But look, you know, you might be thinking, shit, don't these games start to just blur after a while when you're knocking them out in like 20 minutes and 3 seconds? And like, you'd be right, you know. To be honest with you, these games could all be the same game, just released a year apart. Nobody would know. Just change the name. It's alarming. What they should do, this is a marketing tip, because the plat's pumped in the first 5 minutes, is just release the next 5 minutes of the game with its own trophy list, and you know, the last 10 minutes or whatever. Nobody would know it's the same game because nobody's playing it to the end. There'd be some outlier, some fucker going, look at me, look, it's the same game, you're getting ripped off. But you know, nobody's listening to crazy people like that sprouting logic on this site. Next up, Jigsaw Abundance. Is this play Stig as well? This was sort of, I don't know. It doesn't say. You know, this site hates these games so much they don't put any information anymore. Report these trophies as illegitimate. It's probably one of the mods just goes around clicking this button just for a laugh. You know, why would you put this here on this site? I mean, people on this site are so close to the fuse as it is. Like putting this option. Can you imagine being on the cheat team? There's probably like 5,000 of these just random button pushes. Somebody's probably just got their turbo controller just cycling through the first 5 pages of the leaderboard just with a macro script running, pushing that button. Oh God, I hope so. If not, maybe I should look into that. That would be fantastic. Anyway, I have a feeling this might be play Stig, so therefore we're not going to touch it. Lots of pity pit, push down, get the plat. Active Neurons. This is actually kind of fun. Not as good as the new one. It's going to be interesting to see how the new one, Active Neurons 2, go, because it's way tougher. And it's longer too with the 120. So, you know, I think we might see like a 83% on the 2. That's my early prediction. 83%. Japanese stack will be the highest, of course. Percentage awesome P2. It's a skill game at 70.88%. It is not worthy of your time. That brings us to Reed 2. You know, what can you say about Reed 2? He's cute. He has a funny screen shake. And that's literally all I remember. Saints Row, the 3rd remaster. So everyone and his dog told me how good this remaster was. You know, unfortunately they lied. It's not that good. But, you know, he probably enjoyed it. There's probably nostalgia there. 2 more Strawberry Vinegars. I suppose that must be the 19th and 20th stack. Congratulations, 98% as well. So some guys just loaded it up and gone, look, I got more money than God. I'm going to pay $15 for this VN and just never play it. That's gonna trigger somebody. Yeah, it's actually starting to trigger me. Like, give me your account, I'll do it for you. That's probably what's happened, actually. Anyway, Crypto by Power Gear. It's another one of the better Power Gear games. I mean, that's quite a high percentage too. I'm surprised by that for Power Gear. There must be some very good numbers on guide sites for that game, that percentage like that. Many Faces. This was a fun one, wasn't it? It was a little bullshit, a little bit randomized, you know. 11 minutes, 30 minutes, 18 hours. This got to be a case if he just gets on the piss and he's out of it. You know, like, I'm not judging you, so we've all done it, you know, every Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Monday. But, you know, it's, I mean, look, the performance increase is just amazing from 18 hours to 11 minutes. It's wonderful, wonderful to see. Another concept discretion. It's a good game. It's a great game. Then we have South Park, the Stick. I was going to say the Trick of Truth, but it's the Stick of Truth. That's a high quality game as well. I didn't know you'd put that in there. 2 years, 7 months. That's interesting. That was the one you got with the pre-order. If you got the Butthole game, isn't it? Stick of Butthole. But I don't know. Maybe you did get it because 2 years, 7 months, or maybe you just wanted to play it. Maybe you never played it on the PS3. It's a valid game. Another one that is too long, even on the Vita. Although these games are better on the Vita because of the touchscreen, but that's all we can say. Then we've got, now what have we got here? We must be getting close to the 400th one, so we better be careful. Random Heroes, he's done it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Why not? Why not? Why not? It's a gold edition. Do you think it really matters when you're only playing like 5 minutes? Whoa, I got the gold edition. It's the same price too, I think. Grass Cutters, that's an obnoxious game, but congratulations, you finished that. Another one of these blocker picks that are, oh, look at this, 22%. Wow, you know when a spam game is approaching ultra rare, that it must really be, it's a real outlier. You know, it's quality though. 1 month, 1 week. Pretty good. Pretty good. Read 2 again, Task Force Campers. This is a little bit of a This is a little bit of a frustrating spammer, isn't it? Look at this. See, again, this is wonderful. See, East Asiasoft just fucking with us completely by putting the title in Japanese. They did learn, though, didn't they? They're not going to do that again. Yeah, I bet that sold hard. It'd be interesting to see. I think the Vita version finally came out because they finally figured out how to upload it on there, with or without the trophies. I'm not sure. It'd be interesting to see if that was in English or not. I don't know. Brave, look, that's quality spam from the PS3 genre. Another Active Neurons, an awesome P. If you're going to do the second, you may as well do the first. Cars Racerama. That is quality. That is a quality game. I've done that. That had a frustrating moment in it. I want to say the egg roll, but that's something else. I forget what it was, but that was cool. Dark Souls, that's one of my favorite spam games, Dark Souls Plus. It's approaching a real game, which is always a terrifying prospect to any spam hunter. Blind Men, you got to do it once. You may as well do it 4 times. Back in the day, before they knew how to charge for their VNs, and at 6 and 7 minutes, you've experienced everything that Blind Men clearly had to offer. Prince of Persia, no, thank you. Resident Evil, no, thank you. More of this. Rush Over, that is high quality spam. I may have to put Concept Destruction as second and move this guy up to first. He's good. If you haven't played it, you should, as 91.34% of the community have. And then, as we said, he loves to bookend the trophies, 500th with a big one, 400th with a big one here, the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Probably a stingy bastard got that free on Plus, or maybe he forked out some of that hard-earned Scottish money, I don't know, for it. So there you go. Now, it's not surprising, is it, that he's thinking about necking himself when you just see this wall of shit. And I know, he's like, oh, well, it's a bit like your profile, but, there's just nothing here of substance anywhere. At least I pretend. He doesn't even care anymore, which is wonderful to see. Look, we'll just wrap it up incredibly quickly for the noob here with some stats. As we said, look, all these lovely colourful graphs that mean nothing. His average is 67.77%. It's not bad. And look, an S average over here as well, which is wonderful to see. So lots of numbers here. The only number that matters is the F games, which means you haven't even bothered to start them. You just bought them and fucked them off, the F quota. And he has no F games, which is wonderful. So you should just buy one and put it there. Again, that will trigger somebody somewhere. Plenty of E games, but I respect that. Most games are not worth more than 2 minutes of your time. Anyway, it's wonderful to see his monthly activity. It's great to see this is probably around the point where he started listening to Push to Plat. And he's had this massive uptick because he's like, oh my God, I love trophies again. They're awesome. There's people more addicted out there than me. Only to realize that it's not sustainable like all good things. It's really not as good as you thought it was going to be, and it starts to decline here until we get to the point where it's basically dropped quicker than Joe Biden's pulse rate. Look at that. Look at this poor bastard. He's well in the ground. Let's see if he gets to November. So then we have the trophy progression, the wedge of shit. It's massive. It's still good to see that the bronze is bigger than the gold. When that switches around, you're in real trouble. So it's all over. The addiction here is fairly consistent throughout the day, which is impressive because it doesn't look like you sleep. Maybe you're just unconscious in those 18 hours it takes for some of those plats for you to achieve. But wonderful, wonderful, sir. He plays the most on Thursday. I don't know, maybe by the middle of the week he's just had enough. Doesn't play at all on Sunday or Tuesday. I wonder what happens in Scotland on Tuesday. You can't imagine much is happening, but obviously and Monday too. Obviously something is going on there that day. I don't know. Maybe their independence movement meeting. Maybe next time we'll get the numbers. Well, I think they did get the numbers. I'm just not sure what happened there, but it's a wonderful country, I'm sure. So look, there you go, Mr. Noob. There's a bit of a, you didn't give me a lot to work with, but then you knew this was going to be the case, I suspect, as you hit 500th, but nevertheless, it's a wonderful achievement, It's lovely, as I said, to come this far down the boards and see that there are people gaming. I have heard that it does happen, and today it's proved to me that there are people that are playing all the worst games available for trophies still at the bottom of the leaderboards as well. So it's great to see. But look, be well, sir. Have fun. And if your path here is coming to an end and you are moving to the wonderful X, I look forward to seeing you there in the future. Catch you soon.